Hey, Shalom. It is your brother Yawanathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. My wife sent me this article about this family here in Dallas who decided to have a home birth. All right? Didn't want to deal with the hospitals and all of that. And their baby was confiscated. The baby was confiscated and, taken into foster care, given a social security number. You know what I mean? Probably stuck the baby up with all kind of vaccines and all that. And his lesson is for those simpletons in Babylon who think that they're free. We're still in captivity. It may not be as harsh as the cattle slavery that we were in on the plantations, but the plantation has become the world, and many of the other nations are partaking of that plantation. He's made niggas of everybody, but chiefly we're still the top slave in the society. Okay, so you know, instead of being a slave on a plantation, you're an employee. Or even if you have your own business, you're forced to pay taxes to a corrupt power. You understand? So let's get some precepts and just to prove that we're yet this day in our captivity. The first precept I want to go to is Baruch, the 3rd chapter, and the 8th verse. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, and thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse." Now, going back to the curses, when were the curses supposed to be taken off of the nation of Israel? Because in the curses, man, it says that we will be taken into captivity. And the question then becomes, okay, well, if the Lord set these things upon us, when did he take them off? Or when is he going to take those things off of us? All right, it said that he would send a nation against us from far. It said that we would have to go to our enemy for want and need of all things, right? He shall become the head and he shall become the tail. In every kingdom you have servants. You have slaves. You have a serf class, right? And this is what was prophesied to be upon us until the Lord's return. Let me go to Revelation 22 and verse 3. So, of course, in Revelation, here in 22, Salakia, not 22, yeah, 22 and 3. All right, it reads, and there shall be no more curse, right there at the top of the 3rd verse. But you read from the top, it talks about the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. There in verse 2, it says, in the midst of the street of it, okay, I'll just start at the top. It says, and he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb. And he's going to be the top spirit in the kingdom of heaven. His Father has bestowed all things to the Son. Verse 2, in the midst of the street, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, representative of the 12 tribes of Israel, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. So this is when the earth is being healed. So this is in the kingdom. This is when authority has been placed upon us. Verse 3, and there shall be no more curse. This is referring to, the curses that came upon us. This is when the curses are lifted in the kingdom. So yet this day, man, we are still in our captivity. So you don't have dominion over your children as you would like to. You don't have the power in your hand. All right? Let's read verse 3 again. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve them. Let me go back to Deuteronomy real quick and get that precept just to back myself up. Bear with me really quick here. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 32. It says, thy sons and daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Now, when their child was taken, you know that they were longing to have them back. I'm pretty sure this was a traumatizing experience for them. And there shall be no might in thine hand. All right, so those curses, all of the curses, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, play out until this day. All right? So let's go get the rest of these precepts, and we'll pretty much wrap it up there. Actually, I want to read a little bit of this this article. It says, baby taken from couple after home birth will be returned by Dallas court. Mila Jackson, the newborn taken into foster care by Texas officials in late March, will return home. Man, the child even hasn't had time to even bond with the mother, have that skin to skin. They eliminated the opportunity to possibly breastfeed. So now you gotta take the Similac, which Bill Gates has gotten heavy into the baby formula. Lord knows what he's putting in it. Or gates of hell. You know. Can't even say particular people's name. Like, take your video down. Will return home ahead of scheduled hearing that was set for Thursday afternoon. Mila was taken into custody of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services on March 30th. She was born on March 21st in a home birth, but shortly afterward, she was diagnosed with jaundice. The family's longtime pediatrician did not believe that her parents, Tamisha and Rodney Jackson, were providing appropriate care. All right, you're not allowed, or you're just so incapable of taking care of your children here that Esau has to come and take them and do it for you. Esau can't have kids running around that he hasn't had tabs on. Why? Because the earth is given into his hands, and he has dominion over the people for this time. But that's coming to a halt. But yeah, I might check out the rest of this article a little bit later. But yeah, the fact still stands, man. You don't have any freedom. You don't have any power in your hand over here on this side. The only power we have comes, in the spirit, through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. And as things get to that tipping point, a standard's going to be lifted up. But yeah, man, don't get beside yourself and think that you just free and it's all good here. It's not. We're still in bondage. All right, let's go get bear with me real quick while I pull this up. Ezekiel 39 and 23 says, and the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. So, there's going to be stories in the kingdom told, about the nation of Israel, about the elect. How we fell, we came back in that broken and contrite spirit to our power, and we were restored on a much higher level, back to glory, chiefly You know, the stories, the main characters of those stories is going to be told is going to be Yahweh Shai, man. Whenever, people get around the campfire or whatever setting it may be, this is the story that's going to be told. This is the greatest story ever told, man. It's the greatest redemption story. All right. Therefore, hid I my face from them and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell all by the sword. And we know whose blessing was the sword. Esau's blessing was the sword. That's how he would live by the fatness of the earth. And I think when you look that word fatness up, it goes back to oil. Let me get it really quick. Let me see here. Yeah, you look up that word fatness, that it will be given over to him as Mashawan. Fatness, fertile peace, place richly prepared. Oil. So, what's one of the strongholds that Esau uses to control the earth? Well, the oil. He's forced the nations to sell oil using the dollar, which is, which makes, everything go. And nobody could, you come up with alternative energy, it's not in the best interest for Esau or any other nation. So anybody who's come up with a solution to alternative, energy that doesn't necessarily have to be renewed, like the guy that made the hydro engine, they got rid of him. There's a guy called Moses West out here in Texas. He made a machine that takes water from the air. Now think if he made a bunch of those, in every city, were manufactured in every city, and people just go get water, and we had the technology of a hydro engine where you could just fill your car up with water. Or you already pay your water bill, you just, take some water out there and put it in your car. That would completely cripple a lot of the nations. That would cripple big business. And corporations rule this world, you know what I mean? And above them is the banking families. But corporations rule this world. Not your countries, not your governments. They're steered by the interests of these corporations, which are owned by the elites. So, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying, and you get the point. I woke up, I said I figured I'd make a lesson here quick and get my day started. So with that being said, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us the truth and rule well. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity, all right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.